Kendrick dropped a song yesterday, and on the song shouted out Lecrae 2 times and dropped, what would Lecrae, I wonder what Lecrae would do, as like a motif, like towards the end of the song. I wonder what Lecrae would do.
Who said this?
Kendrick Lamar. And then said something about...
Recently?
Yeah, pull it up. And then said something about, I got the heart of D-1.
Wow.
Yeah,
this
man.
This is it. He's off his Eckhart Toll.
Praise God he's off the Eckhart Toll. Gosh, that Eckhart Toll, man. I mean, listen, Kendrick be going through his phases.
What's it called?
Just search a new song. I don't know what the song is called. So he says, hide your kids, hide your wife's profanity on the lyrics.
Ruslan might say the N-word.
I'm definitely not going to say the N-word.
Okay.
Sometimes I wonder what Lecrae would do, F these N-words up or show them just what prayer do. I want to be empathetic, my heart like D-1, but I would. It's time to get these devils out the way. Heavy metals on my sword. We settle hard disputes today. And then keep going down. He says it again. He says it again. So I'm sure everyone's blowing up. Lecrae talks about the Jezebel spirit. I might be on some Mark Driscoll.
Mark Driscoll.
You know.
I want to be confrontational like Mark Driscoll.
An N-word wonder what Lecrae would do. So he says it twice. Shouts him out twice. Pull up KB's Instagram. I want to know what KB talking about. KB usually be having good takes. Man, I love KB. That's my dude.
I'd like to pull up a chair real quick. Last night, Kendrick Lamar.
See, last night,
I would like to pull up a chair real quick. Last night, brothers, I was doing the exposition of my Bible study, and Kendrick Lamar. Yeah, and then there's like an exclamatory, and then a pow.
He's so eloquent with the way he speaks. I love it. Go ahead.
Kung Fu Kenny, if you will. K-Dot dropped in a song on his IG, wherein which for about 5 minutes, the man is lyrically going through this story of pain, suffering, violence, retribution, vengeance. He's talking about the state in which things are, the state in which things are. Speaking as a man from Compton, if you listen to K-Dot throughout the years, I was listening to K-Dot before he was known by really anybody. He talks about what he grew up in the language in which those around him spoke and speak in. In Compton, gang life is like religion. It's devotion.
He kind of, you're going to hate me for this. He kind of sounds like the reference track for what they wanted Kamala Harris to sound like.
Whoa!
But she couldn't nail it.
No!
He kind of,
chill.
No, in a good way. Like, she couldn't nail it, but he's got that cadence. He got a presidential cadence to him.
He has a great cadence to him.
You know?
But you can't compare my man to Kamala in any way, shape, or form. We're not going to do that.
I need someone
to the second
I need
letter.
someone to do the letter, to do the side-by-side edit.
Chill.
And through that lens, he is wrestling through the way things are, but you can tell he's also grasping for something else, desiring something more, something new. I think he uses the phrase new earth in there, a world of hope, a world he's rapping about.
Pause it. The beautiful part about KB is like, this is him.
Yeah.
Me and him will be talking about form on pull-ups. And this is how he talks about everything. It's amazing. It's like this isn't a thing he turns on for the camera. This is his cadence and speech. I love KB, man. Go ahead.
There's no evil, no demons and devils, no bad actors, no inauthentic agents. A place where we can thrive and breathe and live with our families in peace. Brother, I know of a world like that. K-Dot. Oh my God. The new heaven and new earth. This is the hope of glory. I'll put that aside for now. We can talk about that later. But anyways, he has this kind of wrestle. And at the end of the song, he begins to reflect on the way he naturally is responding to the world that is pushing against him. As the swords are coming at him, he's pulling out a sword in response. He's answering violence with violence. And he asks himself in a moment of sobriety, what would Lecrae do? And then he goes on to say, I wish that I had a heart like Dee-1, a heart of compassion. Now, let me just first of all say, Lecrae is big brother to me. It's been that for a long time.
Pause it real quick. I wonder if Kendrick knows about the back and forth Lecrae and Dee-1 had.
That's funny. I doubt it.
Because they reference both of those
dudes
is
weird.
Back to back. In light of the back and forth that they have. I've been wondering how tapped in is Kendrick as he's coming out of his Eckhart Tolle.
What was the back
phase.
and forth? It was so weird.
It was over Kendrick and Corinthians. And it was, because it was a shirt. I think it was Kendrick and Corinthians. I listened to Kendrick and Corinthians or something like that. Lecrae's shirt, Kendrick and Corinthians.
You're right.
Or was it Cardi and Corinthians?
I think it was Cardi and Corinthians.
There was a Kendrick shirt, though.
I think there was a Kendrick shirt. That's funny.
Righteous and Ratchet was what he was upset about. But in that same collection, wasn't it? I quote the Bible and Kendrick. Familiar. That's right. So then he references both names right next to each other. And I'm curious, did he know? Anyway, let's listen to the rest of.
That's a great callback.
Yeah.
In my early days, strong mentor.
Yes.
In my life, I'll tell you what, I would not be where
I took Lecrae and KB when he first signed to Reach Records. This is gonna sound weird. I took him to Foot Action because we were hanging out and they were in San Diego. And I remember Lecrae advising, because my man's was the manager, so we had like a crazy fat discount, like 30% at the time, because certain weekends. And I remember Lecrae advising KB not to spend money he didn't have on shoes just because there was a discount. So he's talking about how much Lecrae is a mentor to him. And
wow,
so
that's cool.
I've seen that relationship blossom over the decades. You know what I mean?
That.
So anyway.
I am right now without the work of Lecrae, and I don't mean that just in a peripheral way. Lecrae and Dr. Washer at Reach Records found me and us in Tampa and in Southside St. Petersburg and gave me a chance almost 13 years ago, and I am always in debt to the brother. I am also especially proud of the homie Dee-1, who has been more consistent, more faithful, more courageous, more bold. Play a Dee-1 song today next to a Dee-1 song from almost 15 years ago and see the through line. Make out how he has stayed standing on business. Dee-1 is the face of that. And we just got off tour together. We're planning on doing more in the future. That is my guy. I will ride for that brother. I die for that brother. And I told my son last night, I said, KBJ, Kendrick Lamar, he didn't know who K-Dot was, mentioned my guys, the guy. He isn't figuratively or metaphorically as big as the Super Bowl now. He is as big as the Super Bowl now. No shade. I'm just saying. The guy, the most respected rapper in the world, has referenced our guys, our friends. And KBJ responded to me, Daddy, why didn't he mention you?
Hey, I love
the
kids. Loyalty that kids have towards their dads. I remember I was talking to Levi and I'm like, I'm trying to figure out like music and trying to get the right like collaborations. I don't know if I want to keep doing it. I'm praying through it, son. And he's like, Dad, just have Forrest Frank do a song with you. And I was like,
that's awesome.
I was like, Levi, I don't know if Forrest Frank knows who I am, buddy. He's like, of course he knows who you are. You're Ruslan.
Your
and
dad.
I'm just like, oh,
that's
man.
awesome.
But yeah, that's how kids be. It's like, well, why didn't he mention you? Go ahead.
That's funny.
To which I responded, go to bed.
Take your butt to bed. Wrong question. Why won't Forrest Frank just do a song with me?
We're done. We're done.
Conversation over.
Go lay down.
Grown folk business. No, I'm just joking. It was time for him to go to bed anyways. But I did respond to him, and then what I would say to anybody, I don't care about that. Bruh, when he mentioned my guys, he mentioned us because I don't care what anybody says. When the kingdom is acknowledged, we all are acknowledged.
Yeah, come on.
And let me be clear about why the acknowledgement matters at all. It's not that just the guy mentioned our guys. That is shallow, though encouraging. But it's vapid. What's much deeper, more substantive, is that the reason that he acknowledged them went beyond their music. There's no reference to his music, to their music. The reason that he referenced them goes beyond Lecrae and Dee-1's catalog.
Come on.
What he was struck by is the same thing that I believe that any Christian should be striking in the heart of folks who are observing us. And that is, he reflected on who they were as people, how they might behave in a world that is falling apart, how they have carried themselves, how they reflect something, oh my goodness, this is the word, different.
Come on.
There's distinction.
Yeah.
And I rejoice in that far more than the guy acknowledging my guys. What I rejoice in is that the mission that we set out on in the beginning was to live out what Jesus said to us.
Right.
That I am leaving you in the world on purpose. Jesus could take us out the world if he wanted to. There'd be nothing for the king to snap his fingers and we'd be gone.
Yep.
But he wants us here.
Come on.
Why? Why? Let me stop yelling. Why does he want us here? He wants us here. Read Matthew 5.
Come on.
To be a city on the hill.
Jeez.
That when hip hop is dealing in darkness, there is a place that people can go to.
Yep.
That is light. When we started this thing 15, 16, 20 years ago, that was the goal. Not to be able to go band for band, Grammy for Grammy, stream for stream. Who cares?
Yeah, that's good.
We want it to be a place that when the world is falling apart all around you, you know that there is a balm in Gilead. What does that mean? When I am wounded and I am hurting, when I am suffering, sin is oppressing us. When I am answerless, there is medicine in a city on the hill. In the kingdom of God.
Come on.
I've heard of these folks. I've seen their good works. I've seen their consistency. I've seen their marriages. I've seen their character. I have seen their conviction. I've seen their value.
He's cooking, man.
Kind of looks like you guys were on a phone call together.
No key. Yeah, he's cooking, and but he's so right. Like what the proximity, the visibility, the acknowledgement. Not in a musical sense, not in a superficial sense, but just in a, I wonder what they would do. Like that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. Look at OG in the chat.
I think he is wrong. Oh my gosh, yo. CP, bro. CP would just have the contrarian take. CP would be like,
I can't even pinpoint what you would disagree with.
CP would be like, yo, I think fundamentalists be on one and I think the church be wilding, but I'm a 6-day creationist.
Yo.
CP, what are you doing, bro?
Oh my God.
This is literally what you want as an artist. Like as a creative, you want other creatives to be acknowledged by the biggest creatives.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Funny.
Like the biggest creatives, the biggest folks from within a culture acknowledging
we can always count on
Christian creators. CP will always have the most contrarian take ever, bro. I love you though, man. Go ahead.
They don't think like how we have thought about things. We have tried all of the things that this world has to offer. I've tried violence. I've tried to drink it away, smoke it away. This is what they've said to us, and it has only left us in the deep, deep, deep depression, darkness, and unwellness. Where can we go for something different? What we want it to be is the dudes with their hands up and say, come over here, broski.
Yeah, that's good.
Come on this side. We don't stand here to put a finger in your face. We want to be salt and light. Salt is good without salt in the ancient world, all your food would go bad. If we didn't have salt, we would die.
Yep.
But it's sad when Christians don't want to be the salt of the world. We want to be the acid of the world. We want to be the lemon. We want to be sour to the taste. We want people to be turned off by us. And then we use that as a badge of honor. Look how hard I was. No, we stand for truth. And I think Dee-1 does this so well. We stand on business in the face of those that disagree for the good of the person that we are confronting and the culture in general. If we don't stand up, who will?
Come on.
Persecution. Let it come.
Yeah.
It's kept out of circles. Fine. Keep us out the circle, because when the circle collapses, those people that were in the circle know where they can go to.
Come on, bro. When the circle collapses, because it's all going to collapse eventually. It's all going to, incoherent worldview would eventually implode on itself.
Ew.
We're already seeing it happen. We're already seeing the fruits of these things completely fall apart. And so, like, what's going to remain? What's going to remain when the world discovers that the world is incoherent and makes no sense? And the things that you naturally want to do, vengeance, violence, gratification of self, gratification of ego, lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, pride of life, you discover that, all these things leave me empty. And any sense of morality I have and any sense of goodness or beauty I see is all borrowing from the God of the Bible and the Christian worldview.
Ew.
While I'm trying to be my own God, hence Eckhart Tolle, while I'm trying to be hyper ethnocentric, his Hebrew Israelite phase. All along, the God of the Bible is the plumb line to truth and goodness and beauty. And I have to borrow from that God without willing to acknowledge that. But then the difference is he has representation.
Wow.
He has points of reference of a D1 and of a Lecrae. And that's beautiful. And I hope that KB's right. I really do believe, and I hope and I pray for Kendrick to come back to Jesus. I'm not sure if he was ever walking with Jesus like that. As I don't know. I want to believe he was, but I really do hope that he comes back and surrenders it. Not because we need Kendrick to be a Christian rapper. I don't really give a whole lot of thought to whether he becomes a Christian artist or Christian rapper, because I want Kendrick to be a great Christian who loves Jesus and is walking with Jesus. And I think that's the ultimate desire God has for all people, not just Kendrick because he's famous and he's talented. You know, go ahead and play a little bit more of this.
And find people whose foundation is solid. That was the mission. And if KDOT is reflecting on my brothers as salt and light, cities on the hill, a kind of house that is built on the foundation of the word, then brothers and sisters, he is in a lot of ways acknowledging the whole goal of the mission. For every believer is to be that.
Come on.
As the world becomes undone, where do we go to find solution, salvation, and hope? I'm a reverend. I'm a rapper, but I'm also a licensed reverend. I could marry y'all for the right price. All right. I've done weddings. All right. Put that aside. Don't take me up on that. Anyways, but I've done funerals. I've sat outside of funerals with hardened killers. Okay. I've sat in prisons, JDCs, with folks that ain't coming home for a while. I've been around those who would be seen as the unreachable. And there's these windows that open when they're faced with their own mortality, when they're faced with the insufficiency of the solutions and the gospels of this world. They don't save. And you wake up for a moment. And I strive with all of my might, above all else, that when the windows open and you start asking the big questions, that I haven't become so over leveraged by partisan politics, that I haven't become so over leveraged with trying to fit in with the cool crowd, that I haven't become so sullied in my reputation, that I'm just as mean as I am a truth teller. I try to be, with all my might, a safe place that you can call when the windows open, that you know where you can come. You can come to KB. Because he is the difference that I need in my life. That is the kingdom of God. That is Christianity. And I think that there's a powerful message, a powerful reflection, all right, in this moment about who we want to be.
It's good.
Not that the guys with the biggest names know who we are, but when whoever begins to ask questions of, why am I here? What has gone wrong? Who is God? And is there a heaven? They know where they can go to find those answers. Shout out to Dee-1 and the man Lecrae.
Heyo. Hey, man.
Yeah, man. I love it.
If there's 3 things I've learned from that video.
Okay. What are 3 things?
1, amazing orator KB is.
Oh, he's one of the best.
2, handsome man. That is a good looking man.
It's a lot of boxing there.
A lot of boxing. I was like, a lot of moving. Damn, maybe I gotta start boxing.
A lot of moving. I will say I was happy when I did more pull-ups than he did when I was at his house. I felt really good about myself.
Fair enough.
I felt very good about myself because that man's in phenomenal shape.
You know what you know what we deal with?
What was your 3rd thing?
Don't sit in the front row while he's preaching. But no matter how much working out you do, we'll never have a symmetrical face.
Oh, because
you know, that man got a great symmetrical face.
They said you simping for KB, bro. They said you simping for KB.
Know.
Why are y'all so weird with celebrating people?
Seriously,
you guys are so weird with celebrating people. Like, it's okay to just be like, hey, you know, this dude got it. He's great. He's awesome. He loves Jesus. Oh, man. I love what he said. You guys are so weird about that. Like, the Forrest Frank video, like, you're fangirling. It's like...
yeah, people are.
Why would you not want to give people their flowers?
We go to this. All right, he's saying something. I don't know. I don't co-sign everything he says.
Yeah, like we like you need the caveat though. Well, I'm not agreeing with everything. It's like, hey man, you know, give people their flowers.
Yeah.
You know, my man Apologia Center said, because they are not secure in their masculinity. Sheesh. Yeah, I don't know. I think that so I was reading Proverbs today, and there was a reference. I wish maybe I'll go grab my Bible, but it was a reference to praise, and I want to say it was like the diligent receives praise or something like that, and it was about people receiving praise.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's this thing of like we could only give praise and glory to God, and we can't like compliment people or we can't celebrate people. If it's that paradigm, you know what I mean? But that's not biblical. Like it talks about the woman and the wife in Proverbs 31 getting praise.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like
Ayo.
You can praise people. You shouldn't worship people because only God should be in a position of worship. But there's a precedent to give praise to folks and be like, yo, this is awesome. You know, whether you're giving praise to their gifting or giving praise to their perspective and what they nailed, I think there should be space for that. So I always find it interesting when people are like, that's good. Like, what? What are we doing? Yeah. You know, I find it adorable seeing men compliment each other. Yeah. You know, Hannah, what's the interesting part is how KB and Amin start their pods where they both do this like, he's the mean green machine. He's Amin the dream. He's the scholar. He's your favorite podcasters. You know what I mean? And they do this thing where it's so sweet. It's so cool. So anyway, shout out to KB. All right, I got to go, guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for hanging out. Again, new hats available right now. We Occupy Till I Come collection is available. And with a limited edition of hats, there's a limited quantity of these. So if you want to scoop one up, get one. Okay. And we will be back next week. Oh, we got some bangers next week on Patreon too. There's a link to sign up. You could stack the link, get yourself a free Patreon sign up, get yourself a discount code, and go pick up some merch and get access to the Lecrae interview that's coming on Monday. All right?
That's a win.
Love you guys. Peace.